recording.
Not Claudia, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yes.
Sonia, Claudia's over here. Right over there, Claudia.
We're fine.
Okay, here we go. We do have a quorum sitting here in person. We've got two other directors. All the directors are here, two of them via Zoom. Welcoming a guest. Any of y'all want to say anything for the record or anything? No? Everybody okay? All right. Then we've got an item of business, water delivery allocation. I think Mr. Al Blair ought to start talking.
Sure, we got the allocation made, the first allocation for the year. Let me share my screen and Jill put it up on the board. So you guys see that?
Oh, I need to do it.
Not yet. You got,
There it is.
there it is. There you go.
So we'd be including the amount of conserved water from last year that we have available, plus the additional water that's in the reservoir. There's our allocation right now is 99,449. We worked with Enrique, Jay and I did, and came up. Our target first. These are all target numbers. You know, they're the first ones. They'll change as the board meets each month or sooner if necessary. So 75 days of production, that's the sewage effluent we can expect. If we kick in all the wells full speed, we would get, that's 40 of the wells. That's optimistic. We normally don't produce that much, but that's how much is available. That is possible to do that much. I know, Jay, that we've talked about the wells and they're working on renovating a few of them or re-drilling. So it gives it a gross supply of 124. It's a pretty tight district efficiency at this low release. The less water you have, the lower your efficiency. But we're gonna hold it, try to hit the 72%. So that means that we can't waste any water, hardly. That's just seepage in the canals, that 28%. So that gives us a total net supply of 89,692. I haven't updated these this month they don't change that fast each month, but we got the Lower Valley acres and their obligations are at, they're capped at 3.5, but we're not close to 3.5 right now, so they get the same as everybody else. We don't know. We reserved 4,000 acre feet for the 2001 contract. That's a negotiation. We haven't started that negotiation yet. That would generate a little bit of money, so we're hoping that, and that'll come out of conserved water that we have available. It gives 4 irrigations for small tract, and the amount of water we allocate. Right now, one of the big numbers always, each year, we don't know the exact total acres that are gonna call for water, but Enrique estimated at 32,000. Typically, it's between 30 and 35,000. That's the acres that's typically the farm acres there, because we've already taken care of the small tract and the PSV land, all the water rights land has been taken out. So that, then if you go over to the next column, the right side, we got some statistics there. They look at, how much water that would be on an average. We'll obviously use more water at first and then have periods where we slow down a little bit. But that's 837 CFS, which is right in the target area that we've done in years past. We get the reserve, the excess is 12,000, but I need some of that for when we're the only ones on the river. So we estimate that is that we pay for about 250 CFS when we're the ones on at the end of the year. So the goal here is to make that balance as close to zero as I can. These numbers, obviously we work on this until we get those back and forth. It's interrelated. So it gives us 18 inches is the answer to this whole thing, with all these things balancing out. On doing it 26 days, we'll be on the river by ourselves. These are all estimates. They change because of changing conditions and rainfall and things like that. on doing that. But my recommendation to you guys is that the initial allocation, which will be effective starting June 2nd,
Which is what day?
18 inches per acre,
It's a
or
month.
1.5 acre feet per
Monday.
acre.
Monday,
Okay.
June 2nd would be the day release from the dam, Al?
Oh, we'll release on Friday, which would be, I think, the 30th.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, yeah, 4 days down.
But the allocation, we don't start allocating and start delivering water under the allocation. There'll still be some return flows going on. But we won't switch to allocating more water until June 2nd.
And you're comfortable with your 18 inches? Well, that's 6 more inches than I thought we were going to get.
Yeah, no, we're all right. We got a little more water than we expected,
Okay.
and I think we're good at 18.
And we're gonna run for, you say, 26 days without any help? So,
Well, 26 days. We don't know what Mexico's going to do. They may be on or off. We don't know what EBAD will do exactly either. But my estimated stop date for EBAD is 7/21. And that would put us, we're anticipating 26 days. This is all preliminary. I mean, it's all,
right.
I mean, the only thing that we're not guessing at is the one we can guess at, and that's the Rio Grande allocation. We know the sewage effluent's very predictable. It never changes. There's that, that's sort of infallible. People are always gonna flush their toilets, right? And take showers, so we know those numbers. Supplemental wells is a question mark. I mean, we know we can produce that much water. It's a question of whether we need the water where we're at. And of course, the water's salty, so we'd be careful, especially in the salty wells, but we will use it. They will be, I don't know, Jay, is Enrique there? Somebody might give a talk about what they plan to do with the wells. Is there anybody in the audience? We can't see the audience from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got Enrique right here, he can talk about it.
Okay, yeah, we've been running on, so yeah, we can give you that, right?
Yeah, we'll be able to use them, we'll use it once the return flows here, so we can mix it with not the return flow,
Okay.
the allocation.
Al, did EPID tell you when they would come on? Not the end, but when they come on?
Well, they'll come on with us. I mean, the target date is to release on the 30th.
Okay. And they just
I
gonna
mean,
run out?
nobody passes resolutions or things like that. We're just,
No, I understand.
yeah.
The only thing
Yeah.
we are gonna pass, though, is we are going to declare this allocation, correct?
Right, and the target date's the release of June. Yeah, but this allocation doesn't become effective until June 2nd.
Correct, no, I know that, but I mean, it is an
Yeah.
official action of the board that we're gonna do this allocation. And
Right, yeah, that's what we're asking for, is a resolution, allocate 18 inches effective June 2nd. I mean, if something happened between now and June 2nd,
Yeah.
we'd come back to you and ask you to change that date from June 2nd.
yeah,
How long with this allocation, Al, how long do you think we'll be on?
Well, right now, you see up in the lower right corner of this, it's, the allocation charge stop date's targeted to be 8/16.
June, July.
So it's 75 days.
75 days?
Wow,
August 16th.
you're optimistic, I hope so. Yeah.
When can they start placing the orders, the farmers?
That's up to Enrique.
We can start taking orders now, so we can see where we're at by June, for
Okay.
unit 6 and 7.
If you wanna make them
So just tell them.
for that acreage,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, thank you, Al. I think we got all the info, so, the 18 inches looks pretty secure. That dam is gonna be pretty dry, isn't it? Unless we get a surprise snowstorm. There's supposed to be one coming through, is that today or tomorrow, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see when it picks back up. I think the reserve numbers this is the project allocation numbers. The reserve right now, this one needs to be adjusted a little bit, but the allocation doesn't change. I think there's about 27,000 acre feet reserved
Yeah.
for primarily in Elephant Butte for there's just all sorts of reasons why we
Sure.
can't get that water out. Some of it's not our water. It's San Juan Chaman Combat Credit water, and some of it's what's called the dead pool, and so all that would leave that. So right now we're estimating to leave approximately 30,000 acre feet of water in the reservoirs. Yeah, it's not very much.
No, it's gonna look real sad if you went up there and looked at it.
I think about 5,000 gets stuck in Caballo, and it'll evaporate, and that would, we won't know all that detail until how we actually get to the end of the year and we operate those things.
Okay.
There may be some issues right at the very end of the year if we don't get some, but even in the worst of years, you know, I went back and looked in 2013 and everything else, we have gotten some inflow, some gain in the reservoir. The worst gain in history during this time period would have been about another 5,000 or 6,000 acre feet. Above this, that's pretty bad, but there's generally, that number's it's a little complicated. That's like a really conservative calculation. It's probably someplace minimum inflow or minimum gain. In other words, it pays for the evaporation plus it with the reservoir gains is probably someplace around 20,000 acre feet. So we'd expect that there'll probably be closer to 50,000 left at the end of the year. With 50,000, we haven't had any major issues if we leave 50,000.
Okay.
And the major issue is the fish kill, right?
All righty, Enrique, you wanna add on or take away? Any comments you got, or maybe Pete, you got any idea? Cause we're fixing to vote on this sucker.
Everything sounds pretty good.
Okay.
Art,
Yeah.
Art, this is me.
Yeah,
I have a question, it pertains to, first of all, Al, appreciate you doing everything you're doing in a very short time. It's very, 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 very nice of you to put this together in a short time, first of all. And, the other thing is, we have this retention pond over here by the PSB water plant. Of that, is that in your equation here, or is there really, really minimal that will not, or would not have any effect if we could store as much as we could in those retention ponds?
Oh, no, we don't have, we've got less than 10% of the design of that facility. We might be able to catch a couple of monsoon events later, you know, in July or something that might help us a little bit. But even if we have that facility full to the brim, it provides, you gotta put it in perspective. When we're at full demand, which will be in June, it only provides 6 hours of water. So it's not, I mean, it looks impressive with the size of it, but it's not very much water. We use it for regulation. Our primary function for it right now is, and Enrique and I were gonna work on that some more, is so the water from the sewage treatment plants comes out in a sine wave. It goes from a low of about 50 CFS to a high of about 125. So, you know, it's always caused a little bit of a problem because we have to slow it down and then we have to speed it up and stuff. And so we're going to primarily use that reservoir to balance out that flow coming from the Bustamante plant so that it'll be a constant 75 CFS to make it easier to deliver to you guys. We haven't done that yet. With that being the only source of water, we use the canals as reservoirs right now to do that balancing, and it works pretty good. But as we get into the season, we'll probably try to use it more in a balancing manner. And that's really, you know, at that size that we have, that 30-acre pond or whatever is out there, is that's all we can really use it for, is for balancing regulation.
okay, any other questions? If not, Chair will entertain a motion to approve this water allocation.
So it'd be, I think Sharon's got the language we normally use. The only thing she needs to make sure that you put that it's effective June 2nd. Okay, Sharon?
Effective
Or
June 6th.
Claudia,
It's
sorry.
Claudia.
Claudia's taking notes.
I want to move to approve the
All right.
recommendation by administration.
All right. Mike
Right,
made the
Jim.
motion. Larry second, George second. We all second. All right, all in favor of this allocation signify by saying aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone opposed, same sign. Okay. That allocation has been approved. That being our main order of business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
All right. Second and bye. Hello, Renee. And